So those are some of the key games from week 6. And, this is what I want to focus on today is, the winning teams, they show up Monday, following the game, and they're feeling, strong and accomplished. But then what about all these other teams? These teams that lost on Sunday, and especially if you think about how it's built up the last 6 weeks, some of these, teams that have 4, 5, 6 losses on the like I said, 4 or 5. Everybody's got at least one win. Even the Jags have a win. But they got blown out. They got dominated. And so they feel overwhelmed, outmatched, limited, defeated, embarrassed, discouraged. Some of these teams, especially when they lose at home, talk about the Cowboys, they're embarrassed. That's an embarrassing loss. On national TV, you got Tom Brady doing every one of your games. It's embarrassing. The performances you're doing in front of the GOAT. Come on, Cowboys. But they're discouraged. And so, the scoreboard does not look pretty for these teams, and they're wondering, all right, how can we overcome it? How do we move on from such a tough loss, and how do we keep going when they're so beat up? And a number of these teams are beat up with injuries as well. And so their season looks bleak. They're looking at their schedule. Talk about the Panthers. Mm-hmm. We're looking at the schedule coming up. There's a couple tough defensive teams. You got Washington coming up. They got an unbelievable offense with Jaden Daniels. We even saw what the Giants defense did to the Bengals. And Panthers play the Giants in a couple weeks. And so we're like, man, this season looks bleak. And so, losing teams are trying to figure out, okay, how do we salvage this season and persevere after the latest setback? And so that's what these teams, the mindset is like. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think the thing that sticks out for me, honestly, is culture. We talked about it a little bit prior to, and I don't know if that's just stability for some of these, because like Todd Bowles, I've never thought he was the best coach, but he's stable. He's a good leader, at least in the locker room. Players respect him. And you got a team like Tampa who continues to go to the playoffs. They tend to make a run, and they look pretty good. Other teams, like you bring in a Jim Harbaugh, he's stable. There's culture. He's creating that. Men respect him. It's not just the Jimmies and Joes. It's not just go acquire great talent. There's got to be something in the locker room where guys say, I believe in this, and I'm willing to die on the hill for it. And I think a lot of these teams, the culture's not very great, and they're trying to rekindle these things, much like Dave Canales here, trying to shift the culture, but it's difficult to do that in one season or a handful of weeks. And we as fans, we're impatient. We want it to happen today. We want it to happen yesterday. And I think sometimes we need patience when it comes to that.
Well, that's a great point. And to the culture point as well, yeah, a lot of these teams, you mentioned the Browns, the Panthers, they have to overcome the defeated mentality and, here we go again. Mm-hmm. Because Browns fans are used to this. Panthers fans have been used to this the last few years where it's like, wait, is our season over? I mean, Raiders fans understand this. And it's like, and crazily to think, the Patriots now the last couple of years. But you get to week 6, you got 1 or 2 wins, and it's like, oh man, yeah, we just don't have it. This is who we are. We're a sorry franchise.
Bryce, what you said happened in week 1. When Bryce Young threw that first interception, they were never going to beat the Saints in week 1, but I think the entire defense said, here we go again. Mm. I mean, we're going to be on the field for 35, 40 minutes a game because we can't stay on the field offensively. All of that's going through their head, and it's almost like we start to believe our doubts rather than believing our beliefs.
That's right.
And there is a difference in that. When we believe our beliefs, then we stand strong, you build culture, and, man, we are in this together. When you start to believe your doubts, then that starts to crumble beneath your feet, and you don't have solid foundation.
That's right. And yeah, you see it start to build on each other, and then the season unravels quickly. So which of these teams will be able to overcome their latest defeat, be willing to persevere, turn their season around? Will any of these teams be able to do that?